minus 1 minute.
What?
More juice for the gyro.
Like the juice.
T minus 50 seconds.
At the point where we're at, it is a lot easier for new people to get up to speed really quick.
T minus 40 seconds.
Let's go. That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight?
T minus 30 seconds.
Rick Hill taking over our camera. I think there may be a penalty for excessive celebration, but you know what? I'm going to let that one slide.
T minus 20 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you having some fun.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Take a deep
4,
breath.
3,
This is it, right
2,
here.
1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the Football Card Quiz. I'm your host, Andy. 2 weeks, just 2 weeks out from the NFL draft. So I'm basically looking at this weekend as kind of like the last call for being able to pick up cards on eBay. Now, if you're electronically flipping, we'll talk about that as well tonight. There's obviously electronic methods where you don't have to wait to get the card in the mail and then catalog it. However you do that in your process, take your photos, relist it, get it listed, get it going. I know some of you guys like to run auctions. Probably going to be timing some auctions to end on draft night. You know, it makes sense, especially some of these teams in the early first round. So we're going to look into some mock draft action, some fantasy football implications. I'm expecting a Hitman sighting here shortly. He's probably wolfing down some chicken nuggets. Or a burrito. We're going to look at the latest market activity. I'm going to answer some questions from you guys that I've seen recently in the Discord. And we are going to look at the latest ADP movement. And we're going to look at a latest mock drafts from PFF and talk about some of those implications. Look at some of this newest Bowman Chrome product and how it's moving, and maybe talk about some of these guys that we feel confident in buying out of the college pool right now that we can not only flip on draft night if we buy them now this weekend, but also, later this summer. Like when we start getting those training camp highlights and we start getting heading into September. So exciting stuff, ready to dig in. Chad Dyer's speculating that Hitman is eating pizza rolls. What's up, Chad? James Bond. Loving the name. They call me Bond. James Bond. What's the name of it? It's called Football Card Quest, brother. Check it out. James Bond. www.patreon.com/footballcards. That'll have the links there for the Discord server. Yes. Julio Rodriguez. It sounds like a baseball player, Ren. Yeah, I only do football cards, brother. Only football cards. What is good tonight, Jeremiah Goodman? Here, fishy. What's up, Derek? In the house. Got to mail his Bowman Chrome U cards. He pulled that Ty Simpson auto the other day with Carter. VA Beach in the house. VA Beach representing. Billy T. I heard some interesting rumors today about the Commanders. Some interesting mock draft rumors that the Commanders, if you go back and look at Ron Rivera's history and how he likes to run his offense, not very conservative, don't turn the ball over, likes to run it, right? He spent the draft capital last year on Brian Robinson, and he does present some upside. They're definitely not ready to lock on to Antonio Gibson long term. He's heading into a contract year. They're also drafting at spot 16. They've got new ownership. I feel like this is a perfect recipe for them to draft the elite running back in this class, and that's Bijan Robinson. So that was a little bit of an interesting analysis that I was checking out earlier. If Bijan Robinson goes to the Commanders, what do you guys think about that? Definitely want to look at his market tonight. What's up, Chad? Bob, Boggy, Billy T. Hey, Billy. Victor. BB in the house. Fierce cards, man. Loving that little shark with the cards. That's a cool logo, man. Very cool. Chris Moore says, screw all these college prospects. I'm all in on Burrow. Can't blame you, man. Can't blame you. They just extended T. Higgins. You've got Jamar Chase on a rookie contract. You got Burrow about to get a big extension. And looking at the graded cards sold data, you know, it is important to note that Joe Burrow having 4,400 different rookie cards is a big jump over that of Josh Allen from 2018. We looked at Kyler Murray from 2019 having 2,900. Josh Allen's somewhere in the 2,000s of different rookie cards, obviously each with their own print run. So when we look at, for example, you can see the number one sold PSA 10 card over the last 30 days is the Josh Allen, going for about $200. Current trend, current average 220, trend 206. You can see how that card has gone down a little bit. Look at the trend go back to October, where it was at 367, and it's just kind of spiked. You see where it spiked a little bit in the playoffs, and it's just gone down to about $200. I mean, $200 buy now. Honestly, that's a good deal. If you're getting to buy it now, that's going for lower than what auctions are going for. That's actually a really good deal. That was probably a new listing, and it probably sold really quick. But anyways, I wanted to look at the population here. 7,139 PSA 10 base Donruss Josh Allen's compared to the base Donruss. And it's probably going to be more on Josh Allen because people have been submitting Josh Allen to be graded since Joe Burrow's rookie year. But it's pretty close. 4,965. PSA 10 Joe Burrow's 3,069 nines and 266 eights. And the 10 on Burrow, actually average of 130. 130. Let's look at his 6-month chart. Yeah, pretty good data. Look at that appreciation heading into the playoffs, and it's just kind of bouncing all around there since then. But it's kind of holding a new norm there. A new norm there. Overall, though, going back to his previous Super Bowl performance last offseason, yeah, it's not really above that point at all. Especially as the population on that card, the PSA 10 pop's probably slowly grown. 4,900 10s, 3,000 9s compared to 7,100 10s and 4,300 9s. Man, a lot of people have been submitting that Josh Allen to be graded. What do we have here?
What up?
Welcome to the stream, Hitman.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you all right. You're like a little glitchy. It's almost like you're in a Tetris or a Pac-Man game from the 90s. But I can hear you all right.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. I don't know what's going on. This thing wasn't working, and now it's at least working. So apologize for the weird 80s glitchy retro look.
Well, your audio is crystal clear. So you got some original Nintendo animation going on with your camera. It must be the cactar. I see you got the cactar out again.
He's holding it down. He's making sure the camera stays on. Yeah, the frames per second seems off, but as long as the camera stays working, I'm just going to leave it be.
Woo. Check this out. Chad's got an Aaron Rodgers from 2020 Absolutes out of 5 for sale. Are you interested, Steve?
Ooh, man. Might be out of my price range, man.
We'll see, man. He's potentially, I hear that he's going to the Jets. I mean, it's been thrown around a few times. There's some rumors that he's going to the Jets. And I hear they got a couple good wide receivers.
The latest rumor is that it's not going to happen until draft day. So I know we kind of speculated that last week, but that seems to be the consensus now.
Billy wants to know thoughts on the Bucks starting QB. Well, Baker Mayfield battling it out against Kyle Trask. But think about this, man. This is the last year really for our GM Jason Light and for our head coach Todd Bowles. I mean, both these guys are on the verge of being fired. So it almost leads me to think they may swing for the fences where they're picking at 19 in the first round. We're picking at 19. I wouldn't be shocked if they go with like Will Levis, for example. If he falls, if he has been sliding a little bit as of late, if he falls to 19, I wouldn't be shocked if they went for a quarterback to kind of try and save. But also at the same time, it's like, why not tank in 2023? Like, let Baker Mayfield run the show. Let him and Trask battle it out, who Trask is basically a rookie. Why not tank in 2023 and go for Caleb Williams in 2024? You know what I'm saying, Steve? And we need help on the offensive line. Like, we need help.
Funny you should mention that because when we talked about the Texans earlier, every week that we've talked about them, they're now saying that it's not necessarily a guarantee they take a quarterback, which is kind of what I was anticipating going into the offseason. Everyone's like, they're going to take him, they're going to take him, they're going to take him. But, this isn't the last draft in NFL history. There's going to be a guy next year and there's a guy after that. So I think the smart money says that they don't take a quarterback and roll out Mills one more year. And then maybe next year take a quarterback after they've got a better defense.
Don't make me buy any Mac Jones cards. I don't want to buy any Mac Jones cards. Don't make me do it. Oh, I would buy a Mac Jones card if he came to the Bucks. I wouldn't be shocked if he beat out Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask in training camp. It's going to be such a shit show, man. Gosh.
Give Trask a chance. What's he had, like 10 pass attempts?
Yeah. He's had a few. He's just real clunky, man. He's just real clunky. But I will give him a chance. I'll give him a chance.
And he's got
give all of them a chance.
He's got a cool name. Not anyone can be Kyle Trask.
There you go. Bob hit the nail on the head. It's always next year. I say we tank, man. I say we tank and we go for Caleb Williams in 2024. But, I do have my Kyle Trask. You guys saw me sniping on stream. Got my Kyle Trask Optic Holo PSA 10 right there. Ready to go. Well, it's not listed, but it is. I actually need to put that on the wall, man. But it is ready to go.
I still think that your guys' team is too good to tank. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to tank a season, and usually sucking is one of them. You guys aren't sucking, even though the record wasn't that great last year. But it's more of a indicative of the line being all banged up and the coaching being terrible. But there's ways around those two things. The line should be healthier this year, and hopefully some of the play calling gets relegated somewhere else. But you guys have incredible receivers, line, quite a good core of young defensive players. So, yeah, I would say Trask gets a shot. They do all right. They may mail it in towards the end of the year, maybe make some trades, but I think they at least try to start the season winning some games.
And Joe Burrow, going back to who was that? Yes, Jeremiah. Sorry, I just saw this comment. Okay, bouncing around here a little bit. Jeremiah, yes, this is a slightly mighty dogfish head in my artificial turf koozie. Yes, sir. Gotta have it. That's my my stock beer right there. My go-to.
Saw a Trey Lance comment about the Bucks. Andy, how would you feel about that? Let's be honest now.
No, thank you. They don't have to buy. I already have a couple Trey Lance cards. I don't think I have to buy any more.
not to take any more cheap shots at the guy, but I know there's a photo going around. I don't know if you've seen it with Mahomes.
Yeah, they're practicing together out in LA.
I guess they took a pic together, and people were clowning on Trey Lance because of his hair or something like that.
Oh, really?
It actually is pretty humorous. I mean, I don't like to take cheap shots at guys, but wouldn't be the first time we've ridden Trey Lance into the ground for a couple minutes or two. So I'm sure we'll get into it later in the show, but I wouldn't like to see him go to Tampa. I think that I'd like to see him go to, well, if Minnesota is actually considering trading with the 49ers, I think that that's probably where he would go. But to me, it only makes sense as a long-term play. I think the Vikings would probably want to try to win now before the Bears get better.
I think they trade him now. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe there's some kind of trade. Yeah, it's got to be some kind of trade for Trey Lance this offseason.
Looks like Jeremiah and Derek have both seen the picture.
I have not. I'm gonna have to go look it up now. I was looking for hunting this comment from Chris Moore. He's all in on Burrow. I know you're a big Burrow guy. We all love some Joey B. Cool Joe. He is the got the highest sold PSA 10 volume week over week, graded volume, no change, just steady, just crushing it. 237 graded football card sales in the past week. It's just crushing it. 160 and also, if you notice here, auction volume, he's number 2, only behind Justin Herbert.
Interesting.
You can see the buy it now volume is a better indicator of current hype, because people just gotta have it now, man. Get it. Burrows 237, Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields. Week over week, a little increase there. Maybe some additional listings. Price is still fairly decent.
This will truly be the summer of Justin Fields, as we talked about after the show last week. Everything is indicating that being the player to target at the National this year, and I'm already seeing a lot of content creators going and buying up some Fields cards in preparation for the National this year. So I think that that's going to be, if you look at our numbers at the end of July, beginning of August, I would bet that you see Justin Fields at the top.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, man. I'm totally with you. I mean, you guys are primed for like serious hype explosion heading into September. Answered a couple guys in the chat, Hyatt and Aaron S. It's a homegrown web app from one of our own patrons. You can get access to it for very, very inexpensive monthly membership fee of $6 at minimum. We have different tiers, but $6 at minimum. Check it out at patreon.com/footballcards. Yeah, the guys want me to give like tutorials. We have a few different tabs on here. One of them is the players. Just gives you a really good idea of market activity, market hype. It shows the actually sold volume. We do have a quest rank in here that's about to be updated based on fantasy ADP, based on athletic metrics, based on prior performance metrics, team scenario, the Hall of Fame scores, the whole 9 yards. No graded market really for Austin Eckler, man. Guy's got like 10 different rookie cards, so no graded market. Even though he is an absolute stud, he may be on a new team next year. Honestly, I look at Austin Eckler as a freak athlete who's probably going to play at a high level past the age apex. I mean, he's basically there, with Derrick Henry, but it's like, I feel like these guys are going to stretch it. They're going to stretch the norm for the old age production curve decline for running backs at age 28 or 10,000 carries. I think they can stretch that a little bit.
I don't know if you saw, there's a video of Derrick Henry from this week on his Instagram training. I got to say, I don't think it looks like a guy that is fading into obscurity quite yet. I mean, he looks strong. I think that he'll continue to be productive for a while. I mean, not everybody can have the longevity of Adrian Peterson, but going forward, that could be a more common thing. Again, we talk about sports medicine and technology and all that, and training and how it helps with rehabilitation and longevity. And I think that, maybe the age apex for running backs going forward could be different. You could see it going up by 2 years in the next few years, or maybe that's already here now. Especially with the fact that you don't have true bell cow running backs as prevalent as before.
Very true, man. Yeah, they're getting, they're not getting run into the ground quite as much, so maybe they can last a little bit longer.
Filthy said Eckler will be involved in a trade. It's funny you should mention that, because I know that the Eagles are one of the teams that really wants him.
The Eagles, the Eagles could, honestly, the Eagles are in a position they could pick Bijan too. They could draft Bijan, man. I know they like to build in the trenches, and there's going to be some decent value where they're picking for offensive line the first round. It's really kind of mind blowing how early they get to pick. They're like picking at like 13 with the team that they have. They're going to the Super Bowl. That's the Howie Roseman mastermind right there. So I mean, they could luxury pick Bijan Robinson. They could do it, or they could make some kind of trade with the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers need wide receiver talent. I think they're in a good spot to pick like Jordan Addison, or not. I think that Jackson Smith and Jigba will go a little bit sooner. But I think Jordan Addison's a good fit for the Chargers. They desperately need wide receiver talent. That would really help Justin Herbert's market out. Like, if you want to try and make a quick flip on Herbert, obviously he's still selling a ton, right, Steve? You could see him up here. I mean, out of the top 10, like Herbert's littered around 9, 12, 13, 15, and like highest. There's another one there in top 20. So, I mean, there's a lot of volume going on. He's now, though, at like 50 to 70% of the prices of Joe Burrow. So I guess you could make a play on Herbert, hoping that the hype would spike for him after the draft if they draft some really good wide receiver talent like Jordan Addison. Is Jordan Addison enough to really propel Herbert's value up that much, though?
I think that they take one of the two tight ends, personally, and I think that Bijan goes to the Cowboys.
Really?
That's what I'm thinking.
Who did?
I agree.
I'm pulling up the Cowboys. Who did they add to their depth chart? They're pulling up. Yeah, that's right, Ronald Jones. I know it was somebody that I was thinking. That was like, okay. Yeah, so let's put them in the market, obviously. I mean, they're drafting at 26, though. So there is going to be guys there, but I think Bijan's going to be gone before 26. Honestly, I mean, maybe the value is there, but maybe they go with maybe Bijan's there. But if not, maybe they go with the Jahmyr Gibbs or this Dwayne McBride from UAB. McBride has been dominant at creating additional yards per carry, ranking first in yards after contact per attempt and third in missed tackles forced per attempt among this running back class since 2021.
I feel like if it's the guy they want, they may move up to get him, but it's very possible that he's still there. I mean, we've seen what's happened with running backs over the past few years, and they're just not always first-round picks anymore. You have guys going early in the second or even in the third that are very viable at running back. The top top guy is usually going to be a first rounder, but we just talked about how the running game has changed. Maybe he does slip to the end of the first.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's kind of what a lot of the consensus is the Cowboys do add running back depth. I mean, it does make sense. I'm not gonna lie. So, I mean, so then in that case, with Pollard's hype still being pretty high, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's probably a good time to go ahead and unload on some Pollard. Go ahead and then sell him. Maybe try and make some moves on some of these rookie running backs, like this cat right here, Dwayne McBride, breaking some moves here. Boom, busting over that dude.
Interesting.
Look at that.
Yeah, man. Running backs
legit.
are. That's the thing about the running back position. Most of these guys are, considered pro ready. It's one of the few positions you can just get thrown into the fire on and do well unless you lack a blocking skill. But would be interesting. I mean, I'm not as sold on him going to anywhere except Dallas, but we'll see. We'll see. It seems to just make for too good of a story, and that seems to be what the draft's been about. The past year with like Kenny Pickett and stuff like that. It's almost like fairy tale picks. Guys go to these teams where they were, destined to be, if you will.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely worth moving some Pollards if you have, an ample amount, because I don't think that it's necessarily going to hinder his fantasy output if they take another running back. We've seen him like coexist in a backfield for quite a while now, but I don't think he's going to be second field to anybody.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just like, he may not be 100% come season start, and they absolutely like Ronald Jones. I'm sorry, Steve, but he's just dust, man. That guy's just trash at this point. I mean, I guess he's got a heartbeat and he can put the pads on and stuff. Obviously, he passes physical and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, in terms of like competitive running back, I mean, bring LeGarrette Blount out of retirement.
That guy's slow.
I'm looking at some Pollards. The rookie ticket auto is still going for 50. Well, okay, that one went for 50 just today, actually. It's actually best offer accepted. People still buying base Donruss. There's a flawless out of 25 that sold for a couple hundred. Yeah, I mean, these prices are good, Steve. These prices are good. So it's like if you bought Pollard before this breakout this past season, or you bought him during the season and sniped him, I mean, you obviously got profit in him, some nice profit. And I mean, in the running back game, it's like if you can realize close to 100% profit on a running back card, unless it's got a lot of personal collection value to you and you just don't want to get rid of it, I would say from a flipping standpoint, you got to sell it, Yeah,
it's a shame because there's, with the lack of bell cow running backs in the NFL anymore, you have to ask yourself, like, what guys, if any, 10, 15 years from now are going to still be like a really desirable guy to have, like in the short term, those guys are, you'll see some of the biggest spikes on big runs, big catches, stuff like that. And something that only these kind of guys can do, except maybe for like Justin Fields. But that's the problem, is that the career arc is so short lived that, it does kind of make for a long-term concern. Do you think there's any guys, Andy, in the league right now that, maybe start to finish have a Tomlinson or a Peterson type career?
I mean, I do think obviously I do think there's a couple guys, and like it goes back to your point of them having slightly smaller roles, or like Christian McCaffrey. They get up big in San Francisco. You know, Kyle Shanahan's going to pull Christian McCaffrey and put in one of his stable of guys. You know, whether that's Elijah Mitchell or TDP or whatever Raheem Mostert they bring in next. You know, these guys that can just like bring in a guy that's got no fear, that can run close to a 4.4, that'll pop outside and hit the hole. You know, find a guy like that late in the draft. That's like the Kyle Shanahan special. You know, and you save Christian McCaffrey for the first half of the game until you get up. Get a nice lead, and then you pull them, you know. And I mean, honestly, with the modern sports technology medicine, a guy could play into his early 30s at a pretty high level. Honestly, you know, it's possible, man.
I'm kind of hoping that's the case. It's, you know, here's the thing: is you have someone's mentioning defensive players in the chat. I love defensive players. I know that Carter loves defensive players. The hobby has evolved to make more positions collectible, but for position players to ever hold the same desirability as QBs, probably never going to happen. You know, maybe the gap closes, but I think it has a lot to do with you know, not just being the face of the franchise, but like you have a guy like Tom Brady. There's no skill position player in the league that's playing into their mid 40s. You know, there's only kickers and QBs maybe.
Yeah, definitely some kickers out there in their mid 40s. I mean, tight ends. I mean, we've seen some tight ends play pretty deep into their 30s, if they stay healthy and stuff. Some offensive linemen, like I think there's one of the guards. I can't remember his name on the Jets. I was looking at the Jets offensive line. You know that Rodgers is going to be getting behind. The other day, one of the guys on the Jets offensive line is like 40. He's like 40 years old. I think it was one of the guards. So.
Yeah, I know a lot of these guys play into their late 30s. It's a whole different kind of animal to play that position. You know, you don't have to be the most athletic. You know, you just tape up your hands, knees, and elbows and just get in there and throw bodies around. You know, it's kind of like being a bouncer.
Man, I do want to get me a nice Micah Parsons card. They're hard to get your hands on. Looking what the market is, you know, he didn't really finish the season too great, but the guy is such a generational talent, man. I think he's got the potential to have a career that is really impressive, you know. It's going to be hard to get to the level of like a Lawrence Taylor, but I mean, Micah's good, man. He can do it all on the defense. It's really freaking good. And I do want to get my hands on a nice Micah Parsons rookie card, thinking that he is a little bit cheaper right now than even guys like Sauce, Aiden Hutchinson, just because of the whole rookie FOMO. But Micah's still super young. He's only heading into his third year, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you know, there's that stigma with buying defensive players, but clearly that's progressively going away because we saw what happened last year with like Trayvon Diggs and TJ Watt and some of these other guys. And, you know, once you become a superstar in the league at the defensive position, if you're a playmaker, for example, especially, you know, some of the superstars that don't get their name on the you know, the marquee as much, you know, they kind of get left by the wayside. But Parsons is playing in Dallas. You know, he's just got highlight reel written all over him. So yeah, you're right. That is a guy to have and to hold for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think the Texans at number 2 after the Panthers get their quarterback. Definitely Panthers going quarterback. Texans probably going quarterback, but I think after they go quarterback, they are picking again at 12. And with DeMeco Ryans coming in as their head coach and him playing with just massive human beings, just monsters on defense in San Francisco, he's going to want to beef up that defensive line. And I bet you they go defensive line at 12. Yeah, I mean, there's some big dudes like Jalen Carter, Georgia, Will Anderson from Alabama. I mean, some of these massive, just dominant, massive defensive rushers. I think, looking at defensive players, I think from what we've seen over the last 2 years, you'd rather get an edge rusher like Will Anderson Jr. Or a corner, or a corner like Sauce. You saw what happened with Sauce this past year. You get one of these elite secondary, a guy that can make interceptions, that can make impressive, like batted, interceptions or deflections, preventing a wide receiver from making a big play. Or you get an edge rusher who can make some really nice moves and take down the quarterback, stuff like that. I feel like the interior line doesn't really get a whole lot of love until you're like all-pro status. Till you reach that all-pro Hall of Fame status, offensive line too, and then you reach that status, they do start making cards for you. You start seeing people, spend some decent money on those player cards once they reach that status. But I mean, look at what Aiden Hutchinson was able to do this past season, and look at the prices on his cards. I mean, they're going for a lot. They're like going for more than Drake London's cards, for example. So going a lot more than some of those third and fourth round quarterbacks drafted last year. So there's definitely potential in those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Hutchinson's putting up great numbers for a guy that, as a rookie, and let alone, I don't think played every game. I think he missed 3 games. So he's on an up-and-coming team. They were featured last year on Hard Knocks. 9 was it 9.5 sacks? 9.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. I still think they get a little more help at the DB position or even another edge rusher, and they're going to be scary, man. They're going to be scary.
Derek said, Young is the best QB in the draft, but I worry about his longevity being so small. Stroud is the safest. AR-15 is the fantasy wet dream. Yeah, he is. And Levy's is a slightly better version of Kenny Pickett, in my opinion. I didn't check the hand size on Levy's, but that's interesting. That's interesting. And he's tiny. Aaron said he's not small. He's tiny. Exactly. Yeah, but he's pro ready, man. He's pro ready. He's ready to go. He's Drew Brees. I mean, look at Drew Brees. I know that's not going to happen to everybody, but look at Drew Brees. I mean, heck, Doug Flutie. Kyler Murray. He's tiny, but he's thick. He's really thick.
His head's that thick, mostly.
Chad said you buy low and sell high. Bingo. Nailed it. I smashed it last year with backup QBs when Mahomes got hurt. I was holding 5 Chad Henne rookie autos that I bought when the season started for $9. He did. We highlighted those in flips of the week. I think
the whole like 1 versus 2 QB thing is kind of like, I don't know. You could flip a coin. I mean, these guys are both obviously, hype magnets, but at the end of the day, a lot of times what ends up being the best QB in the draft isn't always the first or second guy. It's the, third or the 9th pick or whatever the case is. So the 1.1 is not historically the best QB of the draft. So just always keep that in mind.
Izzy is a sleeper. Apparently, talking to Derek and Carter. Izzy Abanikanda. I'm going to say this right. Damn it. Izzy Abanikanda. We got to see if we can find us an Izzy Abanikanda rookie card out of Pitt. This guy got incredible 2022 grades, playing 11 games, 241 rush attempts, 1,426 yards. That's a 5.9 yards per rush attempt. 20 touchdowns, Steve. 20 freaking touchdowns.
What school is that, Andy?
From Pitt.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Panthers. Same school Kenny Pickett went to.
I was just going to say confirmed. Steelers draft pick confirmed.
So he's actually, I mean, he's not, he's not one of the top prospect. He's kind of like down the list. If you look at the mock drafts, I mean, his current ADP in the NFL draft is around 140. So he's going to be probably like a third rounder or something. Yeah, I mean, I could see, Pittsburgh going with a little depth, hometown depth, maybe in the third round or something. And maybe he moves up from there. Got a few guys ahead of him. You probably can get some of his college cards really cheap, and maybe he's one of those guys that during the preseason process and the training camp. Yeah, I mean, I'm loving this profile on him. Let me pull over here, show you guys. I'm not even sharing my screen anymore.
Is there any live snipes on this guy?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Check this out. Pro Day 439. Oh, baby. 93rd percentile speed, 97th percentile burst. These are the kind of guys I love to invest in. Just dominated the crap out of Pitt. 97th percentile dominator score, 6 yards per carry, 20 years old, solid BMI at 216. Yeah, I mean, this is a great sleeper. It's probably undervalued. People are starting some auctions on him pretty high, man. There's some Izzy fans out there. I mean, what the heck, man? What about buy it now? Like, people are starting their auctions out pretty high on this cat. So buy it now.
What do we got for sold ones? Maybe we can get an idea if there's any hype on the guy.
Yeah, if you get lucky. Get lucky and find one for 99 cents. I guarantee it's sucker sold. $35 sale on a green refractor out of 99. That was 4 days ago. Yeah, the one out of 499 looks like it's going for about $20. What is this one? This one maybe looks like a lava refractor.
Okay, it's got an auto. I was going to say, if there's no auto on that, there's no way.
IA, number 2. Let me see, put his jersey number. Yeah. Oh, okay, this one's 029 out of 199. There's definitely hype. Look at all these early April transactions. Guy had a really good combine. Really good combine. His prices seem to have been going up here, and the people now putting him in auctions are starting them higher. I mean, look at all these sold cards around the combine because he just freaking crushed it, man.
Derek mentioned Deuce Vaughn. He showed me a video of this guy a while back. I mean, I can't even think of an equivalent. Maybe the 90s Muggsy Bogues. That's what he looked like compared to everyone else on the field.
Really?
Yeah, it makes
Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State.
Dunn look like a big guy.
Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State with a current ADP around the same spot as Izzy here. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on it. This cat, Izzy.
All right, I want to see this.
Let's check out this Deuce Vaughn profile.
There we go.
Yeah, we don't have stats, so of his blank, we just don't have we don't have the stats. He is best comparable here to Philip Lindsay. But I don't have the stats. I mean, this is not a good stat here for his burst. But 5-5. Oh, I see what you're saying. 5-5. Holy crap, 5-5. But he was a stud at Kansas State. Yeah, and he was a good receiver. Look at that, 17% target share.
You can't even see the guy behind the line.
Yeah, he does kind of look like Philip Lindsay out there. Wow, that defense.
You know, it's the one thing about a quarterback not being able to see over the line, but the running back only has to see the opening.
So Izzy's got some hype, and there's not a whole lot for him. 39. There's the 29. That's actually not a bad deal right there. That 29.99 one. So they did make one that's not serial numbered at all. Here's one on ComC for $18.94 out of $4.90. I might add this to my ComC inventory, bro. I think I got some change left over from that Brandon Ayuk we bought last week. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Probably about $16-17 on direct on ComC with an offer capability.
Well, that's a good deal because this card was just selling for like $25. In some spots, it was selling for like $30. So, yeah, I'm gonna come over here to ComC, and then what I do is I'll buy it on ComC. Please enter the okay. I'll buy it on ComC, and what I'm doing is I'm building up some cards on here. I'll have them listed, but eventually I may bring them home so I can do a mail day here. I got $17.94. Dang it. Well, that might be enough.
Might be just enough.
It might be just enough for me to get this Izzy. Where'd he go? See if you guys can beat me to it. Bowman University Chrome.
I'm sure if you just put the name in, there can't be many cards.
Can you think I can get there with copy and pasting the whole thing? No.
Nah, just put the player name.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then click auto at the top left after.
Let's see.
There you go.
Hey, I think I have enough, don't I?
Yeah, there we go.
I can even make an offer. Let's see. I wonder if this guy will accept my offer. I got $17.94. I wonder if I offer him like 15. $15.77. That means he'll auto accept that $15.77.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Yeah, dude, that's a great deal, man. Based on the solds, like even just looking at the solds, like out of $4.99. I mean, there was that one we sold for $20. That's the same exact card. So already I've got a few dollars profit in the card. But if you go back a little bit closer to the combine, I mean, you got one there. That's a $199. There's another one, though, of 16. So I'm getting it right in line where they were going. There's another one, 15. So it's right in line, but this is just from combine hype. This is just from combine hype. And people are buying these. They're not exactly relisting them. All these cards, as you can see, there's not a whole lot listed here on eBay. So this is the thing I like to do with these, and then I'll stage it and try and flip it through the training camp process. If likely I'm not going to flip it on draft night. There's one out of $18.99 with the dollar shipping. I think that's just fine.
Yeah, no, that's a good deal.
There you go. There's another one for 20. So it's about what they're going for.
I mean, if he goes to the Steelers, that's immediate boom hype.
Yeah, I'll look at it this way. He's the type of guy that's going to get a lot of playing time in preseason. He's super fast, electric. So if he lit up the combine scene like that, there's a good chance he's going to lit up the highlight reels from the preseason footage, and people get super excited when they start seeing that stuff. And he's the perfect type of guy that could start climbing up fantasy draft boards in the preseason. And we won't even know his role. I mean, he may only have like a small role in his offense, depending on where he lands. But like Pittsburgh, for example, he would only have a fairly small role because that's Najee's backfield. But I mean, he may be able to earn his way into like a 30% opportunity share if he could beat out Jalen Warren. But, ultimately during the preseason, he'll be getting a ton of carries and a ton of looks. They're not going to give Najee very many carries at all during the preseason. So it'll be a 50-50 between Izzy here. He'll be getting looks with the first team with his speed and explosiveness, or look at what happened to Isaiah Pacheco. This guy's got similar speed and explosiveness. What if he went to the Kansas City Chiefs? Isaiah Pacheco's got great speed and explosiveness, just terrible vision. Just bad running back vision. He's got a lot of learning, developing to do in the NFL. So that's interesting, man. That's it. So there's a nice little.
Even if he does get, a backup or complimentary role, I think that's just fine. We saw what that did with Pollard, hitting his cards, and we saw with Khalil Herbert more recently that guys can get a good sizable amount of value even as a complimentary player.
Look at this, man. The Bijan Blue Ink from Onyx Vintage already. 10 bids, $26 on that card. The Leaf Flash out of 20, 6 bids, $21.50. 10 bids on the wild card out of 3. No bids on the Leaf Ultimate out of 99, but it started at 50. There is out of 5, 2 bids on this one up to 41. That Zebra out of 5.
I will say this, we talk about it around this time every year, and that's the only time to really kind of dig in for financial purposes for the college rookie cards, college uniform rookie cards. But I think that you're seeing more interest in them this year because of the Bowman you said.
Yeah, I believe that, man. I believe that. And there's a lot of us that were doing this last year that had a lot of success in the preseason, flipping those guys. Like, I crushed it with Dameon Pierce. I know you did too, but I crushed it with Dameon Pierce last preseason. So if I could find guys like that, we did the year before we do it every year, every preseason. If you're staying close to what's going on in the fantasy community, specifically, Dynasty Fantasy, we're looking hard at the rookie class here, then you're gonna make some good moves. You're looking for that athletic profile. Like Jahmyr Gibbs here is a primary example. Guy's probably going in the second round somewhere, maybe late first, but he's probably going somewhere in the second round. A lot of potential landing spots, Steve. A lot of potential landing spots. You got that luxury position on the Eagles. Got a potential spot on the Chargers if they move Austin Eckler. Everybody needs good running back depth. The Rams could use some really good running back depth.
I was reading today about Saquon that he's not signing his franchise tag.
Cowboys. Saquon's not signing his franchise tag. That's interesting. Yeah, but I just don't think he's going to get the money he wants elsewhere, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm going to look at some of these Jahmyr Gibbs solds.
They said they don't want to do a long-term deal, which is what he's looking for. And on the topic of vet running backs, I think as far as guys that we talked about earlier could be, could have value down the road as maybe potential Hall of Famers, I still stick with Nick Chubb as my guy. If you look at the career numbers, the number of Pro Bowls and All-Pro selections, it's hands down. He's got to be the best runner in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he's a really good, really, really freaking good running back. Such a good pure runner. Look at the specs on Jahmyr Gibbs, man. 4.36. Talk about hype. What did the Cowboys get him, Steve? Alabama, 21 years old, 5'9", 199, 29.4. just speed, pure speed. 4.36. Oof. 99th percentile 40-yard dash. Height adjusted. That's 91st percentile. So yeah, a little undersized, just a touch smaller than you probably want them. But man, that kind of speed though is tantalizing. And he went to Alabama, so that always helps. His stuff looks kind of expensive already. Let's see what some of the stuff in it for. Snap.
It's that college recognition, man. When you go to a school like Bama, you get a lot more eyes on you.
Yeah, and you test like that, running sub 4.4s. This is not serial numbered, 2250. So the Izzy was serial numbered out of $499. Picked that up for about $16. This one is not serial numbered, 2250. Definitely more expensive, but definitely I like that the product is available for Gibbs here from Bowman U. 23. Let's see what he did around combine time. 20. April 6th, 35.
Look at that out of 199, $60.
199. Now we got the serial number. We're jumping up exponentially. 40. So yeah, dude, there's nice upside in that card. 46. These are doing pretty well.
Ooh, that's nice. I feel like 23. If there's a red version, it's going to be a big multiplier. I haven't seen really, or maybe there's not a red version, but I feel like if there was, that would be the one to get.
This one's already at this is at 34 now, bro. Did that just jump up? Did one of you guys just bid on that card?
I don't know. I didn't see what it was at before, but ooh, that out of 99 that's what's up right there.
Yeah, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. I'm not opposed to something like this at all. 2 out of 4. Give me the 2 out of 4 with some crazy leaf design here. You know it's going to be a thick chrome finish. Got like a vinyl or a scope. No, it's a scope. Got a scope on it. It's pretty cool design, man. Kind of got like an immaculate type of look combined with some kind of spectra. But I mean, it's just really it's like about the autograph and the scarcity of this card. It's 2 out of 4, man. And we've seen these cards go up to about $50. Not in Alabama uniform even. Wherever he played before Alabama.
What exactly is that? Is that what uniform is that? Hey, there's the red one.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's just wherever he played before Alabama. Georgia Tech. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Georgia Tech at 18 and 19. And
I saw there was a red one out of 5, Andy, on that list, but the price. The price.
No bids. Seller's too scared to start at 99 cents. Not gonna sell it. He's not gonna sell it for 300. Sick card though, but he's not gonna sell it for 300. Sorry. Maybe on draft night. Maybe heading into the season. Still will be a good product heading into the season. You know. There's the 1 out of 499.
Interesting topic since we're talking Panini and Bowman and all this other stuff. You know, heavily debated last year, but I made the bold prediction that long before predicted, Panini would fold into Fanatics' buying power, and it does seem like it's happening much sooner than most people expected, as basketball should be coming out under the Topps heading starting next season already, Andy.
Uh-oh.
And
really?
Today that the many of the top people in the product marketing and development from from Panini quit and signed with Fanatics this week.
Really?
Much, much earlier than people were thinking. So, I mean, with enough money, you can move any deadline up, right?
I don't know about this Zach Charbonnet kid. It looks pretty good. He played really good. Good receiver, I guess, all-purpose skill set. So he's a 3-down type of back. 6 foot 215, solid size. I'm guessing with these kind of athleticism metrics, with how good he was in college, I mean, look at his yards per carry. He probably had really good vision. Yeah, he put up almost 1,400 yards in 2022 at UCLA.
And being compared to DeMarco Murray is not a bad thing.
Yeah, man, look at that scrappiness, vision. That's awesome. Receiving chops. Yeah, but you could tell it's not like the fastest guy, but yeah, look at that vision. That was good, man. Interesting. PFF has him behind Jahmyr Gibbs and ahead of actually another. Well, no, this cat's from Texas A&M. This Devon. Get out of here. You guys can still see my screen, right?
Anani's saying fanatics will ruin the hobby. I don't know, man. Everything I've seen from their, lead, I don't know what the guy's title is, but product development, marketing, whatever. It sounds pretty promising. Trust me, there's people out there that do listen. Even if Panini doesn't, they do listen, and they know that to keep the hobby growing, it's going to have to be, on our terms, not theirs.
Derek says Charbonnet is RB3, RB4 for him pre-draft. Going to depend on landing spot. What about this cat, Devin Akane from Texas A&M? Look at that, 4.32. Another 99th percentile 40-yard dash, but only 5'9", 188. So it gives him a height-adjusted speed score of 108, 88th percentile, but best comparable to Chris Johnson. I'm kind of liking this speed, man. The speed on this guy is pretty impressive. Texas A&M, 91st percentile college dominator. Whew. Son, that's fast, Steve. That is fast. Like I mean, that's just really
the Chris Johnson comparable. Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Seems like a guy that's got more likely complimentary back makings.
Breakaway. Okay. I didn't really see 4.3 speed there, but at the same time.
Yeah, he wasn't really galloping there. It looked like a lot of short, quick steps, but evidently he's leaving a lot of people in this trail, so.
Looks
the
like
thing
he's
about
got some pretty decent
being
vision.
a gold mine for breakers, since that got brought up, there's definitely some suspicion, and you got to wonder if there's some foul play going on with Panini, and I think that you'd almost have to assume there is, and that kind of ruined breaking for a lot of people, and that mostly has to do with a couple of key breakers that are tied to Panini. Like, I'm sure everyone's heard of backyard breaks, and there's some other ones that mathematically hit impossible odds with a bunch of NBA logo mans. Andy, that's considered like the most sought after card of an NBA player. It's a 1 of 1 with a game worn NBA logo man patch on it.
So what's the theory on how they pulled that off?
That they're just being fed juicy boxes, basically to keep them, hyper relevant and to keep them in business, essentially. So it's quite odd when you're considered like the hottest breaking channel on the market, and several of your breakers abruptly quit without reason. So I think there's got to be something to that. But again, I don't have the evidence in front of me. I'm not making a direct allegation, but there's enough people that have already done that on my behalf.
It's another dude from UAB. Don't really have stats on him. Steve didn't test. Looks like he didn't test at the combine. Got some bench press stats, but really efficient here. 7.4 yards per carry, 93rd percentile college dominator, solid BMI at 215, 5'10", 215. Another Alabama Birmingham cat. Holy crap, Steve. He rushed the ball 233 times for 1,700 yards.
In 11 games.
In 11 games, 19 touchdowns. What's the 411 on this dude? Dwayne McBride. Oh, was this the guy was this the UAB guy that we were looking at earlier?
I don't know if we were looking at him earlier.
Let me see.
One thing I think is interesting, and I've already seen this at a couple different stores, is places like Lids and Lids Locker Room, have boxes of trading cards. Once Fanatics is fully in control, I think that's going to be pretty clutch. That you'll probably see like sports cards available in more places, not just maybe like a local hobby shop or places like Steel City online. I think that ideally they want to be more visible, and in the modern day, the brick and mortar business is kind of a dying thing, even though I do want to see more hobby shops thrive, and I think that they will, but I think it's just important to get more people's eyes on it. A lot of us, even now, depending where you live, you can see product in a retail environment, and they have some degree of product. Maybe it's not everything you're looking for, but where I'm at, I think I saw football this week at Walmart for the first time with a respectable amount, like a couple of Zenith blasters, for example. And that's just not something that you saw. I think with Prism being out right now, though, that's taking the spotlight off some of the other release stuff. But long story short, I think that you'll see, you'll have more exposure to product that most people don't have right now.
Yeah, man. I find it very interesting. I would love to know how I can get juicy boxes for us. I'm not looking to make a profit. I just want to get a juicy box to rip and give away for the channel, or do a break at cost instead of some of these boxes we've gotten recently. Although Derek did get a Ty Simpson auto, Steve, so that was pretty nice.
Here's the thing about breaking is I like breaking. I like the concept of breaking, but the problem is there's just too much markup. I get the amount of work that goes into, fronting the money for all the product and sorting it and mailing it and all that. I get it. That definitely should be paid for their work if that's their full-time gig or whatever. But realistically, a box is probably getting paid 3 times what they bought it for. I just think that that's a bit excessive, especially when the prices of the boxes are where they are right now.
Yeah, man, especially the price of the boxes. It's just. This is the cat everybody was getting super excited about earlier, talking about him as a sleeper. Tajae Spears, almost 22 years old, but really impressive efficiency stats there. 72nd percentile college dominator, 91st yards per carry. Look at that burst, baby. That's a burst right there. Vertical jump and broad jump distances. Whew. Any value over 130 is considered extraordinary for a running back, percentile rank. So, yeah, man, that's some pretty sick burst, which I think is cool. Look at that. Almost 1,600 rushing yards in 2022 for Tajae Spears here. Now, the question is, can we find any cards?
Nice patience.
Yeah, man, nice stiff arm, too. I got to make sure the little
I like
ESPN.
the celebration.
We'll probably be demonetized.
Good vision, man. A lot of vision there.
That's super important, man. That counts for a lot in the NFL. It really does. Yeah, that was a great run right there. All right. I'm digging it.
I'm digging it. I think that of the guys we've seen, this might be one of my favorites.
Cowboys landing spot, second round.
That would be huge, man. This guy looks legit. I mean, especially behind a A+ line, that could be dangerous.
Tajae Spears. Let's go, Tajae Spears. We got anything for him? We're gonna be hopefully getting some Panini Instants, some more Panini Instants. No, that is not a Tajae Spears.
Harry Spears, the comedian.
That's not Tajae Spears either. That's
Was
not
that the right
Tajae
spelling?
Spears.
No cards, Jeremiah said.
There's a lot of different Spears, but no Tajae. Dang. There's very limited options. I bet you they got some Zach Evans. They did have some Zach Evans from Mississippi.
We know, though, what happens to a player's card values if they don't have many rookie cards. So if this guy does pop off, whatever does become available will be mega pumped.
Yeah, you got to look for those Chronicles that get released after the draft that has like the college ticket auto, that has some of those college rated rookies and stuff in there. I think that's one of the early ones. There's obviously probably going to be some Leaf stuff, maybe some Panini Instant, depending on. They really only invite like the first two or third rounder guys, and that's it. Zach Evans, that's looking okay. Mole miss here. Not the five-star recruit though.
Interesting. TCU. Just kind of lineman over.
Oh, that was a nice scrappy spin move there.
All right. I like the open field.
Yeah, it was some good vision. He seems all right.
Yeah, seems very efficient.
I still like I like what I saw on the film from the Tajae Spears better.
Yeah, I agree. That looked like a very well-rounded, complete package of a runner.
This guy seems pretty decent, man. He's getting some pretty decent yards after contact, like falling forward and stuff. I don't know what kind of defense, like quality of defenses he's playing, but
yeah, that initial hit in the NFL would probably have been a takedown there.
Oh, that was a nice run. Yeah, I just don't think he's probably not going to get away with some of these runs in the NFL. Got pretty decent vision, though. That was a good angle he just took.
Yeah, he made that look easy. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's like they're standing still.
He doesn't have that elite speed, though. Definitely doesn't have that elite speed. He gets some momentum going, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, like he had pretty good momentum there.
What did it say for his closest comparable?
Oh.
Nothing.
Yeah. No, I don't have a best comparable on here, interestingly enough. 5.8. I do remember there being some Zach Evans. Some Zach Evans. Yeah, he's in the Bowman Chrome. So you do have some Zach Evans Bowman Chrome autos out there.
doesn't sound like a lot of people are sold on him either with those clips.
Yeah. Now, according to PFF, this is what's interesting. I talked to Carter, and he thinks Jackson Smith in Jigba is the top wide receiver coming out. Keyshawn Boutte has slid down draft boards, but according to PFF's mock draft simulator, it looks like they have Quentin Johnson from TCU ranked slightly ahead of Jackson Smith. So I gotta pull up the Quentin Johnson profile here. See, because I mean, I'm looking at the Chargers as a prime team, obviously going to go for that. He just doesn't have the speed, like great 6'3", 208, but it's like they've already got Mike Williams and Josh Palmer and Keenan Allen's. Like, they need speed, man. Who's the fastest wide receiver in this class? That's who they need.
Dalton Keene.
What happened?
Dalton Keene.
Dalton Keene. Like, yeah, this guy looks deep threat. Look at the burst. It's good great burst, big giant catch radius, or a young breakout age. He's probably really good. I know Jackson Smith doesn't have that speed either. You see, 4'5'3", 6 foot 196. And then behind him they got Zay Flowers from Boston College. Now this cat might have the speed. All right, now we're talking. Best comparable to Jahan Dotson. That's very interesting to me. Solid, really good target share, even though it's, Boston College. I'm not sure what his target competition was like. I can't imagine it was that stout. Totally decent, but I mean, he dominated, man. He was not very deep. I guess he took a lot of short passes as well. But 4.42. Now we're talking. Now we're talking some speed here, Steve. Only 5'9", 182. Not the biggest guy, but I wonder if Zay Flowers has got any
Yeah, I mean, those metrics are helpful, but again, there's so much more that goes into it. Those just give them a probability of excelling if the other credentials and thresholds are met. Route running and on-field intelligence. There's just a lot of immeasurables that go into the game. Coachability, that kind of thing. So. But yeah, no, those things do matter. Yeah. But you can have the athletic profile of a track star, but if you can't run a route properly, it's going to be a long year and a short career.
Yeah, very true, very true. There, we've seen plenty of busts.
Kincaid, by the way,
like the Jalen Ragers, who was drafted ahead of Justin Jefferson.
There's tons of guys in the league. I mean, going back in time, you could use as an example like Darius Hayward-Bay and Devery Henderson and John Ross, like guys that they're so fast and they got all these measurable metrics, makes them look like the best player in the world, and then it doesn't translate into an NFL career. So, but if the guys have these metrics and play the game well at the pro level, that's something special.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like, do you have the work ethic? Do you have the coachability, right? Are you smart enough to understand the playbook and maximize efficiency in the NFL against man coverage, the complex zone schemes that they run? This is not like, it's way more organized. It's way more advanced. This is the best of the best, So this is why they're like, I'm going through all the top ranked wide receivers right now, you guys, one by one from PFF's ranking of the best wide receivers in this class, and it's like they want another Josh Palmer. This cat's, bless you, Steve. This cat's comparable to Josh Palmer.
350 ADP.
Which Josh Palmer has not worked out the way I wanted him to. It's like a bunch of average stats across the board. Rashee Rice from SEU.
I think it's
SMU.
I think it's too soon to say that experiment didn't work out. I mean, he's still really young. He was still kind of hanging in the shadows behind, two other guys. Plus, not to mention maybe three other guys if you factor in Austin Eckler. So,
all right. Now we got a De'Ami Brown comparable. Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee played with the infamous Hendon Hooker.
Derek wants to know if we have any fourth-round receiver predictions.
Fourth-round receiver predictions. I predict that. Dude,
I'll get back to you on that one. I'll let you know who the next top dog out of the fourth round is going to be.
I can't. It might be Kayshon Boutte. If he slides all the way to the fourth round, I mean, now we're talking pretty incredible value here. This Kayshon, best comparable to Christian Kirk. He's got a good smile. He did break out super young, and he's just kind of been chilling since. Yeah, look at that. His best year, you know what it was? His best year was with Joe Burrow. Or no, that was Joe Burrow's rookie year. So it was the year after Joe Burrow. That was his best year. And he's gone. He's like just cooled off, man, ever since. He slid. Just chilled out.
That can definitely happen when you lose a generational quarterback throwing the ball to you.
Yeah, they didn't really have, like, I've watched some of the LSU games last couple of years, so knowing Carter and stuff, and I've never been impressed with any of their quarterbacks that they've had since Joe Burrow. I mean, none of them have been really that good at all. So that could definitely play a role in it.
Use the ref as a blocker. Did you see that?
Hey, man, that's pretty smart. Definitely demonetized after that one, but it's okay because I know you guys are enjoying the stream and you're gonna hit that like button. And a lot of you are patrons, so I really appreciate that. And if you're not, definitely check it out. Patreon.com/footballcards. Everything we're doing over there.
Cat's talking about Mr. Irrelevant hype this year after the Brock Purdy incident. I could see maybe an obscure QB getting taken last overall. Someone looking to strike twice.
Yeah, QBs. Who's it going to be? Stetson Bennett? I mean, Stetson Bennett may have been on a great team, but he did what was asked of him. And the guy, in a lot of ways, to me, is like pro ready. I know he's not like the biggest guy or anything, but I think Stetson Bennett could be an interesting bridge QB for a team in the NFL. And I feel like he's going way – I mean, his current ADP is 195. I mean, he's just going to go so late.
Woodside.
I mean, he's getting decent speed and stuff for a quarterback, 5'11", 192, and the guy knows how to win. I mean, that's a good look at that. Look at the college QBR, man. I was watching him throw the ball on his pro day and at the combine and stuff. I was like, this guy's solid. I know he's not a really big guy or anything, but and he's 25 years old. But still, man, I feel like
last pick in the draft, maybe.
I don't know. He's not going to go last. I think somebody will make a move on him in the probably like the end of the third or fourth round or something like that. And I guarantee you there's going to be rookie cards. And it's the thing, he's part of the Georgia championship team. So I feel like Stetson Bennett, if there's any guy I feel like it's kind of safe late in the draft, it's got to be him, right? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about Stetson Bennett. And he's got Bowman U Chrome cards.
Interesting.
I mean, and it's not even just for his rookie card, but there's a lot of Georgia fans of the championship team. I mean, they're the best team in the nation last year. So,
yeah, I mean, he might get
Georgia fans might buy this card
because of the college championship, but
yeah,
but I don't think that may only be for card values. You know, a lot of pro scouts and GMs, you know, won't give you that on your resume unless you're still worth drafting to them. So I still think he probably goes maybe in that last round. Maybe he's the new Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, this guy got a lot of Brock Purdy in him, huh?
Malik Willis got drafted. No way Bennett goes undrafted. You know what's funny about
Willis
Malik Willis is there was legitimately people last year that said he should have been a top 5 draft pick.
Yeah, there was that one point I thought he was going to be a top 5 draft pick, Steve.
I mean,
and now there's a decent chance that he may be cut from the team. He may be released from the Titans, especially if they draft a quarterback. Them drafting Malik Willis
for Joshua Dobbs.
You're
probably not going to make it.
Think about this. The Titans can save $18 million next year by getting rid of Ryan Tannehill. And they pick at number 11, Steve. Number 11. There's a good chance there's going to be a good quarterback. I mean, right, they're going to miss out on the Bryce Young. They're going to miss out on C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson for sure, because I think Anthony Richardson's probably going to go top 5.
When we covered our mock a few weeks ago, I said that the Titans were going to draft him, so we'll see. Now, they may have to move up to get him, but maybe not.
Get who?
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, they're going to have to move up, man. This guy broke combine records. This guy broke combine records in speed and explosiveness. His raw athletic traits are some of the best, if not the best, that has ever come out of the college pool. So he is 100% going to be going top 3 to 5 picks.
Will Levis met with Atlanta today, I think.
And the Colts are picking at 4, and the Cardinals are at 3. So you know the Cardinals, right? Kyler Murray is going to be playing Call of Duty during the draft. He's not worried. They're not going to pick a quarterback there. The Cardinals may move back. I mean, honestly, they should. But the Cardinals are picking top 3. Could go offensive line. They need desperate help there, and then defensive line, second defensive secondary. So they could pick there. But then the Colts at 4. The Colts are definitely going QB. Definitely going QB. In my opinion, I think the Colts. I think that's your Anthony Richardson. I think you've got new coaching and management in Carolina. They've got a totally revamped roster. They already said, like, I think Frank Reich mentioned to C.J. Stroud, like, he's going to see him he's going to hang out with them later in the summer or something like that. So I think they're going to pick C.J. Stroud, no doubt. And then the Texans are going to get Bryce Young. It's just like a match made in heaven, you know. And then the Cardinals, I don't know what they're a wild card, because I feel like a team may try and move up to number 3 to get Anthony Richardson. You know, and then the Colts, if they stay at 4, they may end up getting Will Levis if Anthony Richardson's picked at 3 from another guy. So then they get Will Levis at 4, which I think he's a pretty good fit for the Colts too. Seattle's not pick; they're not picking quarterback at 5. You know, they're probably picking offensive line, somebody in the trenches. And then you got Detroit at 6, which is interesting because Detroit at 6, but I don't think any of these top 4 guys are going to fall to Detroit. But Detroit could still – they could take a depth QB, but I don't know, man. Detroit, they seem pretty content with Goff, and they could just continue to build their defense, man, in the trenches, you know? Just freed up a bunch of space, released that guy, Jeff Okudah, that was always injured. He was a first-round pick from a few years ago. But, I mean, maybe they draft one of these elite. It's really early to draft a tight end, but they do need a tight end now that they got rid of. But there's just so much value there in the trenches. Like, they probably just get the biggest defensive lineman, like Jalen Carter from Georgia. There you go. He's yours, you know?
I think Derek loves his Hendon Hooker, man. I don't know. I think just on gut instinct he slides into the second or third. But I have a bold prediction for the first round, Andy. So we'll see if it pans out. I think in the top 10 picks you get 3 quarterbacks, and then that's it for the first round. That's my prediction. I think the main few guys everyone's going to be gunning for are there, and probably already contended for. And I think after that, no one's going to really reach. And I think they'll probably fall to the beginning of the second round for the next few.
See, I think we're going to be surprised with this cat Hendon Hooker, because the only thing that's really hurting him is his age and the fact that he tore his ACL last season, towards the end of last season. But the guy was really freaking good, man. He's got better film when you talk to some of the film analysts than Will Levis. Some people have Hendon Hooker ranked better than Anthony Richardson in terms of because Anthony Richardson really struggles with accuracy, so that's the big knock on him. And Hendon Hooker is much better in that arena. Like, Hendon Hooker could be a serious deep ball passer. And think about this. You've got the Raiders. They didn't pay Jimmy G decent starting quarterback money. They could draft Hendon Hooker. There's a lot of articles I read earlier that say Hendon Hooker could be ready by training camp. So that could be some interesting competition. And he could throw a really good deep ball, man. And you've got Devontae Adams on your roster, you know. I don't know. That's an interesting play right there for the Raiders at 7. And you still have the Falcons at 8, who could definitely. I'm not a Ritter guy, so I'm not, you know, I'm kind of out on Ritter. But then you also have the Patriots at 14, which are in a very interesting spot with them having shopped Mac Jones and them trying to trade him. What if Mac Jones goes to the Raiders? They trade Mac to the Raiders for the pick. Maybe. I don't know if they'd take that. You guys pick at 9, Steve. Chicago picks at 9. You guys already traded back from 1 with Carolina. I mean, you're probably gonna get you a good big old corn-fed
boy lineman
there at 9. Yeah, you need to get you a big old corn-fed boy.
You gotta get a big boy lineman. And you know, between the offseason acquisition and I don't know if you remember late last season, you know, we picked up Alex Leatherwood. You know, the line actually in a short couple months here, if they take a lineman first overall, is not bad all of a sudden, you know. We did have some injuries too, not quite to the degree that the Buccaneers were beat up, but our line was pretty injured last year. So that could be literally the difference in the success of in Fields having to be a runner first or passer first.
See if there's any Hendon Hooker auctions before we get out of here. I think he could be a great sleeper because there was a point before he got injured last fall heading into the winter where he got some serious hype on his cards that were out, like the Leaf and stuff. And I'm very interested to see what some of these autos end at, because if they're only ending for $10 to $20 more than what a running back, like a good running back prospect is, like Jahmyr Gibbs, then sign me up, man. I'm about to make a play on this cat. Out of 199 for 80, yeah, that's very reasonable. Is this the non-number one, Steve, for 50?
Yeah, that looks like the base.
Okay, all right, we can work with that.
Ooh, the yellow, which
Yellow?
we all know is just gold with a different name.
Yeah, I'm advertising that as gold. No, I'm joking. But it does look gold. You'd fool me all day long. I'd say that's gold, man. What are you talking about? Yellow?
Here's the thing: is you put that next to a card that is labeled as a gold refractor, there's basically no difference.
Yeah, it looks the same, man. You put that silver refractor on it, and it looks gold. 41. Okay, guys, keep your eye out for some Hendon Hooker.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe there's one on ComC, but you got your investment rolling on there already. I botched the name earlier, Andy. These long work hours, man. But the guy I think's going to the Chargers is Dalton Kincaid, not Dalton Keene. That's a different tight end who's already in the league.
Oh yeah, Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer. Yeah, some really solid tight end prospects here. We'll be live covering the draft in just a couple weeks.
2
man.
weeks. 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm really excited. I didn't mention this on the show Tuesday, guys, because it was during the day and I could not risk any of my kids from the other room overhearing, because we're surprising them Monday morning. They have no clue. I'm taking them to Disney World on Monday morning for 3 days. So there won't be a show on Tuesday afternoon unless the kids are just absolutely passed out for whatever reason, and I'll just live stream from Disney World. But so 99% chance I won't be on next Tuesday. So I'll probably either reschedule with Carter, but we will be back here next Thursday night with Steve. I'll be out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, back on absolutely clean your cards for grading with go on Amazon and buy you a cloth that's intended for eyeglasses. It's like a very sensitive microfiber cloth.
Agreed. Yeah, I never in a million years thought about doing that, and I actually learned that from Andy's channel, from this channel, and it makes a big difference when we did our group submission. Sometime late last season, I was shocked. It was my first time getting cards submitted and graded, and I did really, really well. So it does work. It does make a difference.
Yeah, one of these little cloths, or go to your eye doctor and tell them you need a little cloth. Yeah, like a little sunglasses cloth, a little Oakley cloth, or something like that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Victor. Derek, you trip, man. Yeah, man.
Next week with some black ears on.
Yeah, I ordered some black ears off Amazon. They're gonna freak, man. They've never been. They're at the perfect age. We're gonna surprise them Monday morning. Take them, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun.
I know we do a football focus here, but I got to at least point out something epic, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays are 13-0, Andy, to start the season. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
They're on fire, man.
That is. I don't know the record, but that's got to be getting close if it ain't the record already.
Nice. All right, guys. Yeah, we are out of here. Appreciate you. Had fun tonight, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.
That's right. Good night, everyone. Peace.
Peace.